Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremaine, and today we're going to be reviewing Boomerang episode 3 for season 2. It's called Don't Wanna Love You. And if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Please hit that like button, because every time you hit that like button, lets YouTube know this is a good video for people who want to see reviews. And hopefully you enjoyed this review, which is actually going to be a very simple, easy review to do, because they only focused on two characters this episode. We got a break from Simone and Bryson, and they really focused on Tia, played by Lala Milan, who is a star in the making. Seeing her on Twitter, you know, she keeps you laughing. She's like the next Tiffany Haddish. She's ready for the next level. And they also focus on the character I've said, the character I don't like, which is David, who's played by R.J. Walker. But I gotta say, in this episode, I wasn't mad. You know, I was actually cool with R.J. this episode. So here's my notes. Tia has a strip club engagement for $10,000. She has this big Grace Jones entrance, and she doesn't strip naked, but she basically just does a dance routine, and her internet presence has been raised by the dance off she had at Homecoming with the Majorettes. So now even more fans want to see more of her, which have allowed her to book this strip club for $10K for one dance. And nice body double. So I know some of it was Lala, but a lot of the tricks and different things, it was like watching Flashdance. You know, you kind of know that that's not her. But her storyline was still good, because she was actually went off on Simone, who is her manager, and she got mad because when she was asking for her money, Simone handed her the envelope, and Tia was like, it's kind of light. And she's like looking and flipping through, and she's not really counting it, but she knows that's not $10,000. Simone reminds her that, you know, she does get her 10%, but on top of that 10%, just like a music artist or anybody out there, they don't think about this, especially when they get those that upfront money that you'll get in your advance. Then they'll say, okay, your music videos come out this advance. You know, your entourage, the cost for them is coming out the advance, your airfare, everything is going to come out that advance, and then eventually you're going to owe the record company that money. And, you know, you might be working for free for a while if you overdo it. So it's the same thing with Tia. She's like, you came in with this big interest, carried on the chariot. Those guys got to be paid. Those shoes you were wearing got to be paid. That Uber you caught got to be paid. So she pretty much lets her know there's going to be expenses, but Tia is like one of those people that's all about the money, and when the money's funny, she doesn't understand the big picture, because she said, look, all I did was dance, and I did my part, and I expected the whole thing, which makes absolutely no sense at all. But there's a lot of people in the entertainment business that don't understand the business side of the entertainment business. But as Tia stays in the club, she's taken aback because the other strippers in the club are calling her a bitch. They don't like her. They're making her feel uncomfortable. And at one point, one of the strippers is like, look, you got to get your stuff out the back, or, you know, it's going to be missing. So Tia goes in the back, and what I actually expected to happen was for her to get banked or something. And for you, I'm from Baltimore. If you don't know what banked means, that means you get gang banged, or, well, gang bang is taking a whole nother term, but I thought the girls were going to jump her and beat her up. Okay, make sure you know all the terminology. So that didn't happen. Instead, she found herself in the room with a dancer named Dream, who revealed her name was Dorothy because her mother liked the Golden Girls, and Tia makes a joke about Dorothy not admitting that she was a lesbian, and then Dream is like, "Well, what's wrong with that?" And they give each other a look. Now, if you watch season one, you know that Tia's a lesbian too. so, so I'm guessing that was the entrance of her new girlfriend because the girlfriend she had in season one we ain't seen in the last 3 episodes. So, I guess this is her new girl, who her new girl's gonna be. And Simone didn't have much to do. Tia blew up at her again because Simone's like, "Look, I got this guy. He's willing to pay you enough to cover your expenses just for one selfie." And then Tia's so upset that these strippers were making fun of her that, she, starts arguing with Simone. So Simone leaves. And, but Tia, when she still stays there, she sees different things happen. She saw that one girl, she's like, a dance is 40. The guy's like, I don't play no more than 20. And so the girl goes to her manager, who tells her to do the dance for 20. So she reaches her hand out for the 20, and the guy throws basically the 20 at her and being disrespectful, but she still has to do the dance. She still has to do her job. And Tia's watching all of this, and when she meets Dream, the lesbian, who I think is going to be her girlfriend, she actually got hurt on a job, and her knee is swollen, and Tia starts wrapping her knee up, not her knee, but her ankle up for her. And the girl's like, "We got, no health care, nothing." And Tia's like, "Well, we need to change that." She's like, "I ain't got time to be rallying for equal rights. I got a job to do." So I don't know where they're going to go with that. I don't know if somehow, some way, Tia will make enough money to become a partner in the club, own the club, start a club. I don't know what she's going to do, but I feel like she's going to do something to make the conditions for the dancers better some kind of way. But that was Tia's whole story for the show. It was intercut with David, who went to this new mega church called Inspire, which is head by Jaleel White's character, whose name is John. And let me tell you, it was hard as hell to figure out what this boy's name is, because I just go to IMDb. He's nowhere on the database for this episode or the show in general. BET didn't help, Google didn't help, but I did look at the end credits, and then I saw, okay, there he is. His name's John, because I don't think they said his name at all in this episode, and I can't remember if they said it when he first appeared in the first episode. I'm sure he said it in the first episode. Who remembers that? So, so he came to the church, and it's a lot different than what he's used to. He's looking for like the paper Bibles. They've gone digital. The preacher, he's in tennis shoes, and he's dressed down. And there's a lot of people that's in a church wearing freakum dresses and looking like they about to go out to the club and whatnot. And he's just looking around because they're still giving the word, but at the same time, they're not giving the it's not stuffy. Okay, it's a very loose church. It's a very friendly church. It's not a judgmental church. That's what the word I was looking for. It's not a judgmental church. It's literally a come as you are. There are certain churches that if you were homeless, and I'm talking about one right down the street, if you were homeless and you wanted to hear the word, and you went to one particular church that's down the street from me, they have security outside the door to make sure that the undesirable people can't get in. So this is a church that person probably could just walk into and hear the sermon and different things like that. So he called David up and to speak, and then David spoke on how he was feeling, and it was a dark, but it was an honest. And so, people cheered him on and tried to make him feel better. And so John, well, first thing that happened was, let me look at my note real quick because I'm going by memory. After the sermon is over with, he's just looking around. The church is almost empty. There's just a few people there. And then a guy comes up to him named Tyson. And I was getting serious gay vibes from from David and Tyson. I felt like, okay, is this what David was talking about? Because when David was giving his testimony, he was like, look, I don't know if I should be a man of God or if I should be something else. Now, my immediate thought of his something else is, should he be like his friends, having sex, drinking, partying, in and out of relationships, all that stuff. But when he meets Tyson, and my gaydar said, ding, 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 I was like, I have a feeling we're going in a different direction, despite the fact that he sat next to a character named Naomi. And Naomi, he accepts a date from her at the end of the episode, and he's just giving her this weird look. So I'm still trying to decipher what that was supposed to mean, that he accepted her number, but then he looked at her all weird. And we had one more scene with him and Jaleel White, who was saying, look, I take young preachers like you, bring them under my wing. And he's like, you gotta, stop being all dark and depressing, because people aren't gonna hear that every week. You gotta be uplifting. And he also said he had to get some tennis shoes and, some good kicks or whatever. And so all across the wall is just like tennis shoes. And so he ends up going to the tennis shoe store and buying a new pair of tennis shoes and everything. And so what I liked about David, because I've never liked the character, but what I've liked about David was that he really felt like a real person for the first time that I've been watching the show. Normally, the way they've been writing him, and the reason why I didn't like him, was that he was such a holy roller. It was, and I know some people in my family, my aunt just died, God bless her soul, but she was our family holy roller who would pray for you, but she might have you there for an hour praying. And you're like, I got things to do, and she's still praying. So I know there are people like that, but sometimes he was just so naive to, like in the previous episode where his dream of what happened between the kiss and everything was they just stopped and they were just like praying because they did the kiss, and she was like, don't want to be like involved in anything like that. And it's just too unbelievable, and that's how he's normally written. So I've never liked that character, but now he has a little more depth and he has a more believability, so I could appreciate those changes in him. And they had a minor scene with Ari and Bryson. They got drunk at a Mexican restaurant, and they kept talking about Taco Tuesday, and it was Sunday. And Dave was like, that's racist, because they called him because they needed a ride because they couldn't drive. And he's like, I'm staying at church, and I'll send you all an Uber. So I just really liked this episode. It gave us a break from the whole drama of Simone and Bryson, and I needed that break. I needed the break. I'm sure we'll get back to it with the next episode, because Bryson was drunk as hell in this episode. But yeah, it was a good episode. Tia is one of my favorite characters, and she's one of my favorite Twitter personalities. And so it was good to see a focus on her. And also I enjoyed David for the first time in a season in 3 episodes. I actually enjoyed his character because he wasn't a caricature. He actually had depth, like a real person. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. And let me know in the comment section what you thought about episode 3 of Boomerang. Thanks for watching.